Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. Queen Mother is here. Welcome to the Queen Mother Speak Show on January 17th, 2024. Aren't you glad you've made it to this new year? So here we are. We're live at 5 p.m. Kenya time. It would be 2 p.m. Ghana, 3 p.m. Morocco, 6 p.m. Dubai, 7:30 p.m. India time, 9 a.m. New York time, and it would be 6 a.m. in California. Queen Mother's on every Wednesday, every week, and I am Ella Dashanaba King. We have a wonderful show planned for you today. We're still in the beginning of year 4. And one of the things that we want to do is we still haven't come up with a theme. So we're putting it out there for you. Help us. What do you think we should make our theme for this new year? I'd like to give shout outs to Solo and Jennifer Sosu, Kathy King, Rosemary Johnson, and Marilyn Lewis from Florida. Nana is in the house. She'll be coming in and out on the show today. Coach Ra is in the house. She may be coming in and out during the show today, and Nana may or may not come in, but I'm here, the guests are here, and you are here. Thank you for tuning in again to the Queen Mother Speak Show. I'd like to say hello to the viewing audience. We're glad to be with you today. And hello to all of our faithful fans. We got some others coming out of Atlanta, Georgia, which would be Lady Mo Abimbola, Tina Jones, Ernestine Marie Powell, High Priestess Say Shot. Hello, High Priestess. Melissa Kemp. Hello, Melissa. Carmen and Michelle. You can tune in right now to the Queen Mother Speak Show by going to facebook.com/Queen Mother Speaks. All right. So today we're going to introduce our guests who are in the studio. And here we go. All right. Well, there should be another one. I think I could get. I wonder why we're all night. Let me try this again. So interesting. We should all be on the same screen. Let's try this one. I'm still not getting the fourth person. Patricia, can you hear us?
We might have lost her.
Okay, there you go. Unmute. And so Patricia is in studio. I'm kind of concerned why the picture is not showing here. Usually, when I click on this view, it gives us everybody at once. And for whatever reason, it's only showing 3 of us. I don't know what that's about. But in any event, let us begin first with Coach Rukaya. Coach? We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Grand uprising, family and friends and associates and acquaintances. It is indeed a pleasure to be here in 2024. Continuum. I say continuum because nothing has ended, nothing has stopped. It's a continuum. We carry on. And so we will be talking about hydration later on. Back to you, Queen.
Thank you, beloved. And now I want to bring our next guest in. Her name is, here we go. Okay.
Hi, how are you, everybody? My name is Patricia Henry. I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much, Queen Mother, for having me in this show.
And I am delighted to have Patricia here. In a little bit, we'll find out what she is really all about, and you're going to love it. Now let's go to our next guest in the studio today. His name is John. John, here we go.
Hello, everyone. Greetings. My name is John. I'm grateful for this opportunity. I hope now that you have a wonderful show today. Thank you.
And when you hear what John is up to, You're going to like that too. I'm excited about these two guests on our show today. And when we had rehearsal, we had such a great time together that we realized it's good when you can bring in different synergies and different energies onto the show at the same time. All right. Thank you for that. I want to ask a question of Coach Wakaya. Okay. Do you want to go with asking the people to get relaxed for today? Okay. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Good
We can't hear
morning,
you.
good morning, good afternoon, greetings, blessings, and salutations. It is indeed a great pleasure and a miracle to be breathing on this planet. We thank God for everything. We invite you now to get relaxed and ready for this awesome show. Hit the like and comment button and share with all your friends and family, for this is going to be what a journey. It is going to be a journey of self-healing, restoration, transformation, and reparation. Um, Continue to wash your hands, keep yourself safe, and be alert. We thank you for coming. Hold on, gotta scroll up. We thank you for tuning into Queen Mother Speaks, a safe space for information, inspiration, and expressions. Bonga da da bonga, a new platform for women. Voices is here. Catch them here every Thursday at 7 p.m. On Facebook.com/Bunga da da bonga. Thank you for tuning in to Honorable Margaret Toll, Shreya, Rose, M.
Rose
Mwara,
Amara. Hmm.
Rose Mwara,
Yep.
Aju J. Mgwagi, Parida, Rose Okalto, Maurice Obuyu, and Estelle from Kenya. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What is Queen Mother Speaks? Queen Mother Speaks is a community platform for wealthy conversation that matters, commentary and insights to raise awareness, inform, incite, ignite, involve, enlighten, educate, laugh,
Mm.
update, excuse me, and expatriate into Africa. Words on newsworthy events, wisdom from the elders, warm, witty dialogue with guests, and a boutique of quotes and win inspirational verses. Back to you, Queen Mother.
Thank you so much, Coach Rakaya. Thank you very much for that. So now, she's just told you a little bit about what Queen Mother Speaks is. And part of what we do on the show is we do bring you inspirational words. And that's what we're going to do right now. So in this moment, we're going to go to our meditation reading. I'm going to repeat the title 3 times, and I want you to listen from your heart. Okay? So please please mute your mic. Mute your mic. Okay? All right. So today, for our meditations, I am my most loving companion. I am my most loving companion. I am my most loving companion. I enjoy the company of myself. I enjoy being with myself and doing the things that I like to do. I can spend time alone without feelings alone or even feeling bored. I take care of myself by monitoring and dispelling the thoughts that tell me I don't belong, that I am not enough, that I don't have enough, or that I don't have the ability to do something that I want to do. I center myself on the truth of who I am. I am a child of God, made in the image and likeness, and I am whole, perfect, and complete. That is the truth about who I am. I am my most loving companion. I have gentle and loving dialogue with myself throughout the day. I tell myself how much I care. I compliment myself on those things I appreciate. I reward myself for those jobs and tasks and things that I've done well. I never ever say anything derogatory about myself. Coming back to that, I give myself a big hug each morning. I love and I accept myself just as I am. And I am an intelligent reflection of God. Thank you, love, in me, as me, through me, in the name of Jesus the Christ. And so it is. Our scripture reading for today is, in all your ways acknowledge him. Proverbs 3 and 6. Wow. What a powerful meditation we had today about me being my own loving companion. I can remember the times when I would say derogatory things about myself, but I didn't know I was being derogatory. For example, how many of you have children and when they do something, you say, come here, boy, with your big head? So if you keep telling him he's got a big head from a child, by the time he's 16, 17, 18, he's very clear that he got a big head. Now, whether his head is big or not is another question for discussion. But what we want to talk about is the things we say about ourselves and the things we say about others. So if you've been putting yourself down, take a look at changing that in this new 2024 year. If you've been saying bad things about other people, let that leave from your mouth. Let that leave from your mouth. Now, that doesn't mean that when you need to chastise a person, we're not talking about that. We're just saying on a regular basis, like sometimes someone would say, what a beautiful dress. And you say, girl, this dress is so old. Now, wait a minute. What does how old the dress is have anything to do with the dress? So I'm just saying, catch yourself when you find yourself doing these things and saying these things this way, and work on removing that out, out, out of your vocabulary. Thank you. So right now, as we're in the month of January, and it's time for us to celebrate the spiritual faculty of faith, Faith. Faith is the spiritual principle, spiritual faculty for the month of January. So as we're ushering in the new year, let us recognize that we have unlimited opportunities, and I do mean unlimited opportunities to express the Christ spirit within us in our homes, in our schools, on our jobs, in our families, at our playgrounds, in villages, right, in regions, in counties, around the world, and even the whole universe. We began January with faith, faith, faith. Faith is the spiritual faculty that forms the foundation of everything we do right here, right now, today, and at all times. Thank you for that. We're going to move from our meditation moment over to our headline news for today. All right, headline news on Queen Mother Speaks. ABC News reports in some of his strongest public comments to date, acknowledging criticism of Israel's retaliatory campaign in Gaza, President Joe Biden on Tuesday said that the country was starting to lose support around the world. And we're talking Israel here, starting to lose support around the world due to what he said was the indiscriminate bombing that took place. Israel's military has reportedly began pumping seaweed and seawater into the Gaza tunnels the Gaza tunnels are said to be occupied by the Hamas fighters. So even as the Hamas fighters are right now inside of that pump, big pump, they're inside of it, it's still pushing the Hamas people further and further into the stronghold of the pipe, which is not what they were planning to do. Okay, so the Israeli Defense Forces have built 5 pumps to flood the network of tunnels where the Hamas fighters have been hiding, and they've been held hostage there for a while.
Queen,
Yes,
may I share a little something?
on that one, on
Yes,
Israel?
yes.
Sure.
It's interesting that President Biden is saying that Israel is losing support globally. However, they have given them access to the armory, the ammunition armory over there in that region, Israel. America is saying one thing to the people, but behind the scene, it appears that Biden is supporting Israel, and so I'm a little bit
He's come out publicly on that, hasn't he?
on what?
Supporting Israel.
Oh, what did he say? I missed the whole thing.
Okay, well, right here, what he did, he criticized, right, some of what they did, and he started saying that he was saying to them that they were starting to lose support around the world.
Right.
But the U.S. did, in fact, make an investment into Israel at this time.
A very big investment, $114 million and more,
Yes.
and they just bombed some of parts of Yemen. So I just wanted to note that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. Schools in Uganda have fully reopened, and almost 2 years after the corona pandemic started. So schools there are now starting to reopen. All right. This has been one of the world's longest closures since the virus forced governments to close learning institutions back in March of 2020. All right. We urgently appeal to your generous hearts right now to support our campaign aimed at providing immediate relief and assistance to the victims of a devastating flood. This flood has struck the Volta region community in Ghana. This disaster has wreaked havoc on countless lives. I think the number may be up to 100,000 people now who have been affected by the flood in the Volta region of Ghana. Okay, they have left these families displaced, their properties are destroyed, including myself, and their basic needs are very compromised. Basic needs, food, water, shelter, these things have been compromised during the flood. Together, we can make a difference, and we can help these flood victims restore hope and rebuild their lives. So we are asking you to please make a donation to our GoFundMe account, or to the PayPal account, or to the Red Cross Queen Mother Fund in terms of supporting and providing help for the flood victims in Ghana. Okay, so now this is the time that I was expecting Coach Ra to come in and give us a great introduction of John, but she did not get a chance to see the script, which is called Human. Isn't that being human? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to read what John has sent us about who he is. John is a 28-year-old Kenyan man, a CEO of GLM Research Services. Let's bring him on so you can see him now. He has a BS in statistics from Meru University and an ongoing master's certification at the European Business Institute of Luxembourg. John has a proven track record in undertaking comprehensive research across diverse industries. Be sure to ask him about that when he's talking to us today. Okay, the organization GLM Research and Data Services was established in 2023, and registered under the business name to offer consultancy in research and data services. Research and data services. They're also writers, researchers, and data analysts. John says that his team, that their strength lie in the fact that they are a team and that they are highly motivated and they have a very superior trained staff, and they're always informed of the latest technological developments in the field of research and data. John says that their services can be customized to meet the needs of our partners as well as our customers in a wide range of various sectors. I'm going to let him tell you about those sectors, and then John will all engage with you in questions, and we'll also take questions from the audience. John, thank you. So now, I guess the first question I would want to ask you, John, is where did you grow up?
Thank you, Dr. King. I grew up in Kirinyaga County in Kenya.
Okay.
From just a normal family, but quite a poor background growing up. But it was quite a nice family growing up, Kirinyaga County in Kenya.
Okay, you have any sisters and brothers?
Yes, I have. I have two step brothers and one step sister.
All
so
right.
It's
Very
kind
well.
of a blended family.
So, John, tell us a little bit about your schooling, and then tell us about how you got into data research. Your background, your schooling, Form 1, Form 2.
So I went to a local primary school called Karigo Primary School in my local village in Kirinyaga County in Kenya. Then I proceeded to Kirinyaga High School in the same county in Kenya. After my high school education, I went to a university in Meru, Kenya, where I did a bachelor's degree in statistics. And after undertaking a degree in statistics, that is where my interest in research and data started since I was in campus, where I remember we formed a research organization since when we were in campus. And I think all those things now led me into research from quite such an early age.
Okay. Okay. So now we all know that technology is a big thing in today's world. Yeah. So what got you
Yes.
there? What got you into technology?
First was curiosity. I would talk of curiosity. But then upon graduation, I really did not secure a job here in Kenya. So I decided to take another course in data and in technology. So at least from that time, I had an interest in technology since then.
So now you said something very important, that you are a graduate from the university, but for whatever reason, you weren't able to find a job. How many
Yes.
people you think fall into that category, John? Here in Kenya?
Here in Kenya, actually, the statistics from the Kenya Bureau of National Statistics actually indicates that up to 40% of youth in Kenya are unable to get decent work after graduating from college. So I was actually among those because I underwent through an unpaid internship, and it was not possible for me to meet my day-to-day needs because there's an internship, it's not paid. So I decided to start my own venture.
Very good, very good. And so now, ladies and gentlemen, tuning in, what I want you to hear, and thank you to all of those who's tuning into the Queen Mother Speak Show, please go into the chat room and let us know who you are and where you're tuning in from. It's interesting, even though universities around the world are still open and they're still training students year after year after year, by now, there's so many students with degrees, and like John, they're out there, they can't find anything to do, or they can't find a job. And everybody don't have the acumen of John to decide to start their own business. So tell us, what has that been like, doing it yourself, John? Was that a hand, Rob?
Yeah, it's been quite difficult actually because I I started from a point of kind of a trial and error approach because I would say that there isn't much mentorship around it. So you just out in the field trying out different things to see how they work. So it's been quite difficult actually, not quite a smooth.
I see, I see, I see. Well, now, this thing called DATA, it's taken on a whole new meaning
Yeah,
as the years have come and as the years have gone. This word called data,
yeah.
okay? Data scientist, which is what part of what you do at your firm, but you're also doing research. Tell us about those, John, and the various areas and sectors that you're doing work in.
My company is basically into research and data services. So under research, our main service is market research. This is where we assist companies to determine the viability of their services. Our market research is centered mostly around companies that need to bring in new products into the market. So if you need a new product and you need to really understand whether this product is a fit your target group, so we assist you to determine that. So this could also be around determining the satisfaction of your customers. So to what extent are your customers satisfied with the services that you're offering? And because now we need, what we do is we do surveys directed to to your specific target audience to determine whether what you are offering is consistent with the needs of the market. So we've been able to do this across different industries, and most of the works we have done, interestingly, has been in the field of agriculture. We've really done quite a number of work projects in agriculture. We've also done so in education. We've assisted academic institutions to really determine whether there's a gap between what they are offering and what really people needs to be offered. We've
Mm-hmm.
also done quite a number of projects in real estate because, for instance, the real estate industry in Kenya has been quite booming, and people come in and they really need to understand what are the real needs of people in this industry. So we've done quite a number of projects in real estate. So I would say those three sectors have been the main sectors that we've been worked on so far in regards to market research is concerned.
Mm-hmm. So one of the questions I had wanted to ask you, like take myself, Queen Mother Speaks. It's an
Okay.
online platform which
Yeah.
falls in the area of entertainment, if you will.
Yeah.
What is it that your firm, as a market research, could do for a firm like mine?
So for a farm like or for the work that you're doing, first we need to really understand who is your target audience, specifically who are the people that you target that you need to reach out to. Then we need to undertake in surveys to this specific group that you are targeting to determine whether the content that you're offering is really consistent with what people needs to hear or what people needs offered. So our partnership with Queen Mother Speaks would largely be in the context of really trying to determine whether what you're offering is in consistency with what is needed in the market. We try to determine the gaps that could be there, and then we try to determine the ways that that can be improved to better reach out, at least to have a better reach, a greater reach to the people that you want to target.
Mhm. So, in determining my target audience, what would you, and I guess what I'm seeking for is I want some of the other small businesses like me to hear how you really can help them, because often small businesses don't think of research and data as something that they need, but in fact they do, right? But and also I
Yes.
want you to talk to us about how your firm helps people in academia. I want them to see the benefit of the things you're doing
Okay.
as a small business.
Okay. So for small businesses, I look at them from the context of the resources that these businesses have, because most of the small businesses really have limited resources. And this means that these businesses now cannot afford to make any decision that is not really consistent with the market. So for the small businesses, we assist them to determine who really their market is, because I've come across small businesses that miss the point of who is their target audience. So after the target audience, so we look through the product and services that are offered by these small businesses. Then we assist them to talk about tuning these services to ensure that they are just consistent with what is needed in the market.
Mm. And what do you do for college students? What are one of the things that you do with college students?
So for college students, we determined a gap specifically for thesis and project works. Uh, I saw that most students struggle at the point of data analysis. That has been our
Mm-hmm.
main focus. When you are undertaking your thesis or project at the end of your bachelor's, master's, or PhD, most people tend to struggle with data analysis.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main services that we offer to the students, really assisting them collect that data and analyze that data, because not every other student would really have the skills to undertake in all aspects of data. So our assistance, okay, we offer consultancy to students, but our main focus with students is really assisting them around data collection, data analysis for their project works.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So now I'm going to ask Coach, as Henry is having this conversation with us in data research. Does it sound like anything he's doing could be of assistance to you in the healthcare industry?
Oh, definitively, definitively. And like the brother, when I graduated and I relocated to Atlanta, um, I had 7 children that I was taking care of. And so no job fit my schedule. I needed to be available for my children at any time. And so what I did was sat down and wrote my own curriculum to instruct Spanish in the private schools and the Christian schools. And then I went out and marketed myself and secured myself sufficient accounts that would yield me the weekly monies that I required to take care of my responsibilities. Yes, I was married, but I also needed to help out because it was 7 children. So I am happy that you were able to create a business. I am happy that you were able to now go out and market it. And that is what the message should be to everyone. Just because someone tells you no, or you perceive that there's no jobs, you need to harness your skills and be able to now market yourself and create your own opportunities. And yes, 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 I believe that you will be able to assist me in targeting my audience. I believe that I was told that the older folks don't care anymore, they've lost hope, and that I need to target my audience to the millennials. And so
Mm.
we can talk about that. I pray and hope that that is not true, that Generation X is not giving up hope and faith. no matter what stage you may find yourself in any disease, I want everyone to know that your body is a miraculous, magical instrument, and that it can reinvent itself. It can rejuvenate. It can recuperate. And I pray and hope that there is no one on this platform today that is giving up hope or faith. Back to you, Queen.
Thank you so very much. All right. So now, having heard from Coach Ra, who is in the health industry, all right, and I don't know, well, she didn't really get a chance to tell you a lot about some of the things she does, but would you be willing to have a conversation with her so we can get more definitive on what it is she may need for her business and healthcare? And I want to get some more definitiveness on mine as well in terms of the Queen Mother Speak Show. We do have another guest in the house, and we're going to bring her up right now again. I know that Ra would have loved to have this introduction of you, Patricia, but being the busy woman that she is, she didn't get a chance to read over the script. So if you don't mind, I'd like to do the honors. Okay.
Okay.
Lady Patricia Henry. Ra, guess what? She's a nutritionist who's passionate about fixing the African food security systems.
Thank you.
Yes. She has a BS in food nutrition and dietetics. She has an MS in food nutrition and, a BS and a MS, okay, in nutrition and dietetics. Now, she's been experimenting in treating malnutrition among pregnant, lactating, and under 5 children in the ASAL region in Kenya. She's going to tell you all about that. She's taught in both public and private universities in Kenya. She's teaching research methods, community health, among other nutrition and health related courses. She has been involved in qualitative and quantitative research as a data collector and manager. I love that work. I often love when I get to feel and collect work. I hope I can go with you one day. She enjoys ethnographic nutrition studies. She has studied Kenyan food security systems from the year 2017. Currently, Patricia is the founder of Patricia Farm Fresh, which is a nonprofit dealing with small-scale farmers, providing them with information. And this information is such that it will increase their produce and their productivity. She's also been a host. She also hosts, even now, currently, a podcast that tells stories of CEOs who are founders who are contributing to food security systems in Africa. That is very interesting. Write that point down, Patricia. That's something I'd like to speak to you about offline in terms of dealing with the CEOs. I've talked about it, but we do have a CEO organization as well. So perhaps that's something for you to tie into with them. Right? Patricia's authored 2 books. We're going to talk about the books. But before we talk about the books and we talk about her awards that she's been nominated to, tell us a little bit of, Patricia, about your background and then how you got yourself into food security.
Okay. Hi, everyone. How are you doing?
We are well. Thank you.
Great. So my name is Patricia. As Queen Mother has stated, I am a nutritionist and I have extensive knowledge and experience in nutrition, in management of malnutrition among children under 5 years, pregnant and lactating women. When I finished my undergraduate, that's the first job that I got, and I aspired to go back to do my master's degree. And is when I was doing my master's degree, I have done up to first year, that I went into the research of food security systems. And what I did is, in the year 2017, I did plant some beans, and in the last week of February, and the rain did not come until until the last week of March. So I found that that climate change is a problem in our country, and I got very interested in how can I look for a solution. So with the little resources that I had at that time, I put up some greenhouses, and a greenhouse is an environment that gives crops the optimal conditions for it to grow, and it is also used to control pests and diseases. So when I put that up, I learned that greenhouses can be used to combat climate change. I did share a QR code with Queen Mother. Perhaps she will share this with you about an image of how small-scale farmers in Kenya are working under very complex situation and factors that are compounded by climate change. And it is in this regard that I have now created a non-profit, Patricia Farm Fresh, that is dealing with small-scale farmers in helping them with information that increases their produce productivity. And I hope as we continue along the way that I will be able to help them access market and be able to do soil management in a bigger way, and help them increase their household food security, and help them involve themselves in agribusiness that is helping them. Because as we speak right now, small-scale farmers are getting 1 cent per dollar. 1 cent per dollar is returns. That is really, really low. And 80% of the food that is consumed in sub-Saharan Africa and Asia is produced by small-scale farmers. So you can imagine the strain that these small-scale farmers are working under. And these are the people that we are waiting for to produce food for us, especially now that is urbanization. And this urbanization has created a high demand for food, but are the small-scale farmers able to meet that demand? Number one. And number two, what type of quality of food are we actually eating? So these are very complex issues that I have found out that are affecting small-scale farmers. And as I go along with the cause of helping small-scale farmers, I, as Queen Mother has also said, I am also an author. So my 2 books, Why Should I Marry? I'm Happy Single, and It's Okay to Be Angry with God. If you buy those books, 40% of the sales, they go to small-scale farmers. That is how I'm trying to raise the money for to help them in reducing the burden of production and helping them in management of soil. So that's how I'm doing it as we speak.
I see. Wow, this is so exciting. Overall, the work that you're doing, and it's interesting that you saw a need for the small scale farmers. You jumped right into that. How long have you been doing that? Was it 2023 on that one?
Small scale farmers?
Yeah. Yes.
Right after I finished my research, when I finally understood the complexity of Kenyan food security system, that was in 2022. That's when I finished my research. And in 2023, I started forming the group for small-scale farmers and helping them access information. And I have found also that small-scale farmers, yes, they will access the information to help them increase their produce productivity, but they are also struggling with funds in terms of analyzing their soil. the only way that a small-scale farmer can access soil analysis is through the government services, which will cost them money, or a private company, which will cost them money. I actually did a baseline survey for the 25 small-scale farmers that I have, and there is one small-scale farmer who has farmed for 40 years. And this farmer has never heard about soil testing, and they have never ever tested their soil. So that raises a big question. What are we eating? And I remember some time back, a lady came to me and she was complaining of how she went to a nutritionist and her baby is not improving. And I connected the dots that as nutritionists, we have been trained to do nutrition in terms of physiology and pathophysiology, but not in terms of agriculture and food security systems. So the question is, if a farmer, the small-scale farmers are producing 80% of the food that we are consuming, and that their soil has not been tested. And then when you go to buy collard leaves, which is kumawiki, what is the possibility that you're actually getting the vitamin C that we analyze as nutritionists is in the collard leaves? What is the probability? You know, and I can tell you this, as a nutritionist, you sit in the hospital and you tell people go and consume this, it's going to give you vitamin A, but nutrients come from the soil. So if the soil is not analyzed, what are we eating?
Jesus
what are we
Christ.
eating? What are we eating? And what are we advising the population to eat? You know, the other thing I talked about just recently was the potential of indigenous foods in Africa having the potential to prevent lifestyle diseases. Right now in Africa, specifically in Kenya, we are seeing double burden of malnutrition. What that means is, while there is one child in Turkana who is dying of malnutrition, wasting, undernutrition, there's another child in an urban area like in Nairobi who is overfed. That means they have obesity. Okay, they are overweight. So, and we are seeing a rise in Kenya, we are seeing a rise in cancers, we are seeing a rise in type 2 diabetes, in lifestyle diseases, and on the other end, there are people who are dying of hunger. So that's what we call double burden of malnutrition. And that is becoming a very, very complex situation. And it is even more complex, or rather is compounded by climate change, because right now, farmers, they go and they plant, but they don't know. Tomorrow you wake up, the rain is just pouring too heavily. It comes and destroys everything in the shamba. Nobody is compensating the small-scale farmer. Nobody is helping them rebuild. And this small-scale farmer is the one we still expect them to rise up early in the morning, to go to the farm and produce the food that we in urban centers are waiting to nourish our body. So the food security system, as I have found out from 2017 up to now, is that it is very complex. But we can start somewhere. We can start with the person who is producing the food, and that is the small-scale farmer. Can you imagine if we were able to reach all the small-scale farmers? Yes, we would be dealing with 80% of the food in the marketplace. Would mean that food is nutritious for everybody. That would mean that if a nutritionist is in their hospital and they tell a patient, go and buy collard leaves, go and buy spinach, that because they want them to increase maybe vitamin C, or they want their iron levels to go high, so or their roughage, that would mean that if when you do that, that patient is going to recover. And what that in return means to our economy is that we are going to spend less money in curative services and that money can be used to invest. And the situation is not good in our country as we speak in terms of food security systems. But as I said, we have somewhere to start, and that is the small scale farmer, and that is what I am striving right now to do. Other than that, I'm talking to the CEOs who are contributing to food security systems, and perhaps bring everybody on that table, and what can we do to help small scale farmers access stable markets. Yes.
So now there's been so many programs from various countries available in this country for small scale farmers. Are the small scale farmers actually taking advantage of those programs?
Yeah, that it is true. There are programs. Yes, some of them are taking those programs, and they are helping them in a certain way. Okay, but for us to completely solve the problem, we have to look at it from and that's why I call this study the complexity of food security system in Kenya. It is a web of complex factors that are affecting small-scale farmers. And in order for us to solve the complexity, we have to bring on board the people who are players in this factors that are influencing the production of crops in the small scale farmers. So yes, something is being done, that is true, but we need to do more. We need to do more. Otherwise, if we don't do that, we are going to see a collapse in our food security systems, and it's not a good thing.
So now, if we know that the majority of the small scale farmers are not having their soil tested, and that same soil is the soil that all of us living in this country eat from the earth. I don't understand it seems to me that there should be a program for them to have the soil tested, because that soil is for the betterment of all of us.
It is true. It is true.
What can we do to see that the small scale farmers are having their soils tested? What can we do? Do we need to write letters to who? What do we need to do to change that?
First of all, is to have a conversation that we are having right now. This is the right step. This is a good platform. We need to have the conversation. We need to involve the government in helping decentralize the labs for soil testing, because as we speak, for the government soil testing services, you only find them in Kabete. Okay, you don't find them in the wards. So we need to bring the soil services close to the small scale farmer, perhaps all the way to the sub county, so that they can access them. Number three is to have non-profits like Patricia Farm Fresh and the rest come together and help small scale farmers test their soil and guide them through that. And I'm so grateful that MURIMI is here.
I want to speak on the point you just made. Is it possible that Patricia Farm Fresh and other small farms like yours can come together and make an application to the government or to the Agriculture Department of Kenya to help you be able to help these small scale farmers with having the soil tested? And let's say if 10 small businesses like Patricia Farm Fresh came together and wrote a proposal to the government to allow them to help educate the small scale farmer on the soil and give and for the government to give what is needed to treat the soil. Is that something that you guys can do?
Yes, I think that is something actually possible. I've been trying to think about it. As I said, I mean, we are in the process of doing that. I'm trying to think about how do we involve the government so that we can decentralize the soil services. When I was doing the greenhouse, I had to send my soil all the way to Karo here in Nairobi, the lab that is mandated to do soil services, testing services by the government. Otherwise, if you don't do that, you have to get the private, which is okay because the government cannot really do everything. But the question is, one of the things that really bugged my mind was how many farmers are sending their soil, because you have to send. And as much as you have labored, is it possible for that labor to be, to be mixed up so that perhaps you get the result of another farmer and things like this? So there is a gap in terms of collaboration between the NGOs and the government when it comes to that. And I think it is actually possible to have that. I think it's possible to have like Patricia from Fresh and others come together and write to the Ministry of Agriculture, to the county governments, and tell them this is what we want you to do, and this is the data. And I'm grateful that MURIMI is here. Interestingly, I come from Kirinyaga County as well. Perhaps today Queen Mother was looking for people from Kirinyaga. I come from Kirinyaga. I come from Kirinyaga County.
From the same county. Yeah. But guess
what?
It
is so it's so interesting. I said to myself, was Queen Mother looking for people from Kirinyaga County? Or are people from Kirinyaga County so proactive that they just want to solve problems in the community? I am so grateful that MURIMI is here.
And I have good news for you.
Yes.
I have good news for you, Patricia.
Yes.
We have right now on this Queen Mother Speak show today.
Yes.
GLM, our company with John, has said to you, if there are organizations out there that can help in having a program for soil testing, John's company says they would assist you in writing the grant proposal.
Wow.
Okay. So what's that saying is you pull together other small businesses like your own.
Yes.
And then, pull them together, get the information they need, then give John a call. And some of the experts in his office will begin to meet with you and those organizations about writing a grant to get the money for the soil.
Oh my goodness! I'm going to cry.
The Queen Mother Speak show. Yes.
Yeah, that is an excellent idea. And and Queen Nana is the one that teaches the grant writing program, and that will go. That will go for also the brother. What's his name? Brother
John. Okay.
John.
So John's company. They don't teach grant writing. They will do grant writing.
You can also write a grant in order to train the college kids in how to really, what they should major in and how to go about recreating themselves after graduation. I notice in all the movies, that's what they, in Nollywood, the person is always trying to get a job. The person is always trying to get a job. Let's turn this around and say the person is always trying to create a business, an institution, a situation where they will also be self-sufficient, but also serving to their population, to the community, because that's really what it's all about, to serve. We got this notion in our head that we're gonna be rich, but your riches is beyond your imagination if you serve your community and humanity.
I totally believe that.
I want us to stay on track and not
Okay.
necessarily deal with college students right now, but let's stay inside of what John is doing in his company and what Patricia is doing in her
Oh, that
company.
was just a
And present,
suggestion. We good.
okay, so John, given what you've said to us today, you're willing to work with Patricia. Patricia, are you willing to pull together some other small businesses in agriculture like yourself that you can come together as a group and present something to
Ye-
the Department of Agriculture?
Yes, I actually want to tell Moremi, John, that I have a group of small scale farmers, 25 of them, whom I
Wow.
have done a baseline survey about the soil testing, okay? And if they would want their soil testing, so yes, we can sit down with even the data that I have. I have the questionnaires here with me. You know, I did all
Okay.
that. I've
So
entered
this is
some of
great.
them in Excel. So yes, because these farmers, one thing I can tell you for sure, small scale farmers are struggling with the production. I wish I could show you that, but we can talk later. I wish I could show you the diagram that I did send it on your WhatsApp, Queen. I did send a QR
Okay.
code in your WhatsApp. Yeah, so we can
Okay.
share that later. There's a
And we will
diagram
before you leave.
about, okay, there's a diagram about how the factors that are influencing small scale farmer. My goodness, if you look at that diagram, you will not breathe for a second because there
Mhm.
are too many. There are too many. And the good thing is, I myself, I did that. I went to the ground, I did the greenhouse, I went to the pottery, I went to the markets. I have a micro business here in Nairobi. I have done the retail, I've done the distribution, I've done the production. And I'm telling you this, it is so complex. But
Mm.
the place to start is with a small scale farmer, because as Africans, number one, our indigenous foods have the ability to feed us, prevent lifestyle diseases, and also feed the world. But we can only do that if we actually do production scientifically without compromising the quality of the food, and also making sure that we have sustainable market, and a market
Okay.
that does not compromise the nutrition value of the food that we produce. Otherwise, anything else is just counterproductive and is not going to help anyone.
Okay. Okay. Very well.
Mm.
I'm loving this. So here's what I want to make a proposition to both John and Patricia, right? Because you both are young entrepreneurs and you're in the cutting edge of things in terms of being in agriculture and being in technology. What I would like to do is, as the two of you choose to come together and work on creating a proposal that can be presented to the government for funding for testing the soil of these small scale farmers, we want to follow you in that process. We want to
Thank
follow the
you.
process. So what that means is, as we're here today, this is just an idea today. So Queen Mother Speaks show is 13 weeks for one season. I don't know what you're going to complete in 13 weeks, but I would like to say I want a segment. So maybe before the 13 weeks have completed, we at least bring you back 2 times for 5 minutes to talk about how you're building on making this happen. Because I maintain that after we finish with the first 25 small scale farmers that's working with Patricia through her Farm Fresh, we can get another 25 in another county. You know what I'm saying? So we got to start somewhere, but we want to follow the story as we go. For example, we had a young lady this year who came to Africa, who had never been in Africa before, and she retired in 20, this is 24, 23. She retired in 2022. And her goal, she always dreamed of coming to Africa. So she spent 12 months in Africa. She did 12 different countries, Kenya being one of them. and she traveled for 12 months in all of these countries. And she will tune in every now and then to let us know how she's doing on her trip. That's what I want of you. We want to tune in with you to see how it's going with the small scale farmers proposal that's going to be on the table soon. But speaking of small scale farmers and table, please, Patricia, speak to us a bit about the other table or the other hat that you wear in the form of an author.
Yes, thank you, Queen Martha.
Yeah.
Other than that, I am an author and I also sing and I play the piano. I have authored 2 books.
All the what?
I have authored 2 books.
Yes.
One of it is Why Should I Marry? I Am Happy Single. This
Oh my
book
Lord,
talks.
oh my Lord. Wait a minute. Rod, did you hear that? Coach Rod, did you hear
Yeah,
that?
I did. Why should I marry a happy single? You know,
How did you come up with such
you
a
know
title?
I heard it. You know I heard it. That's a good one. I gotta read that one. I gotta read it.
Patricia,
Yes,
please,
it's available.
how did you come up with that title?
Why should
So-
I marry? I'm happy
I'm
single.
happy single. Yes.
That's a good
So
one.
how I
I'm
came
sorry.
up.
Brother John, I'm sorry, Brother John. We gonna get you a wife, okay?
It's okay.
Wait a minute. Wait, Brother John may already, wait a minute now. Brother John may already be married.
Oh, well then, forgive me.
It's okay. It's okay.
I want to know, Patricia, how did you come up with that title?
So
Hey.
my title, Why Should I Marry? I'm Happy Single. I came up with there's this I went through a journey of self-awareness. And there's this friend of mine who would always tell me, I actually asked her, she was getting engaged. She got engaged and she was so happy. So I asked her, why are you marrying him? Unfortunately, now they're not together. But I asked her, why are you marrying him? And she told me, he makes me happy. So for me, that answer was not sufficient for me, because I then asked myself, why should I marry if I'm happy single? If I am happy alone, I'm enjoying myself. Remember when we have started this session, you've talked about I am my own company. I am enjoying myself, right?
Yeah.
So if I am enjoying myself and I am happy single, then why should I marry? And I kept asking that question in my head. And then I started having this journey of self-awareness. I kept understanding myself, understanding my sexuality. What is the purpose of my sexuality? Is my sexuality a functionality or is it an identity? Do my hips and my bosom and my hair, does that define womanhood? Is that what womanhood is? If then the physical part does not define my womanhood, then what does? And what is the purpose of my womanhood? So these are questions that I kept asking myself. And I was doing a journal. I write my thoughts when I'm thinking about something, and I need to process very complex emotions and thoughts. I write down, and I kept writing. It's been quite a journey writing that book. I kept writing and asking myself, and it's the questions that then formed the chapters in the book. Okay, until I got to the last chapter of freedom. The last chapter of freedom talks about I am free from culture and religious identities of womanhood. Okay, so as a woman, we have been cultured that, and religion has not helped. We have been told that if you're not with a man, then you're very sad. And this makes a lot of women rush into marriage and makes a lot of women also stick with abusive partners, because who wants to be sad and alone? You know, so nobody wants that. But the thing is, the purpose of marriage is not to give you happiness. If you're not happy alone, you're not going to get that from a man. But that is what religion has also told us, that a woman came from a man, and pastors, they justify this. But to me, it's not about a woman coming from a man, it's how God created the womanhood. And womanhood here is not the individuality. Womanhood here is a functionality. And how he created the woman comes from the purpose of manhood and womanhood as functionalities, not as identities. So you cannot use womanhood to tell a woman, oh, if you don't have a man, oh my goodness, you're going to be sad and alone forever. So this fear, because, no, everybody wants to be happy. And of course, also our definition of happiness really does matter. Because if you define happiness as excitement, excitement is not happiness. Happiness is a complete being, is a completeness, is a peace that you feel when you're alone. You enjoy your being, you enjoy your womanhood, you enjoy everything about yourself. That is what true happiness is about. And you will not find it in a man. What you will find in a man is sexual excitement and sexual pleasure, which people confuse that with happiness. Girl. So this friend of mine, she was saying she's happy with the man. No, it is the sexual pleasure that makes you feel, oh my goodness, I'm happy, but you're not happy. You're just excited, So that is how this book, thank you. This is how this book came to being. It's a book that when you read it, you have to be open-minded. You have to understand, because some people, when they hear, why should I marry? I'm happy single. Some of them think I'm against marriage. No, I'm against the principle of you looking for happiness in a man. So that if you're happy single, yes, if you're happy single, then you have to find a reason that is beyond looking for happiness to be with a man. And you confusing sexual pleasure and excitement, because when we talk about sexual excitement, we are talking about girlish. Girlish, when you're sexually excited, is different from womanhood. A mature woman is looking for pleasure, but a girlish is looking, oh my God, he makes me happy. And then that girl that girl marries that man, where at that moment, oh my God. But then when they get into it, the oh my God fades off, because it's an excitement stage. When that fades off, the reality hits. And the question is, who am I? Who am I? What is my purpose? What is womanhood? What is its purpose? And as a woman, until you have found yourself, getting happiness from a man, you're going to lose everything, your soul, your everything, your will to the man. And that is the subtle, I call it the subtle way of abusing a woman. It's so subtle, because you're told, oh, look for happiness. Oh, he's a good person. Oh, he makes me happy. And it's very subtle. Unless you have self-awareness, you are not going to detect it. And it is very sad that we have seen so many women come out in the shows and talk about how they have been in abusive emotionally. The physical one the physical abuse is very outright. It is the emotional and the mental abuse that is so subtle. If you are not able to if you don't have self-awareness, you'll not be able to detect it. And unless you go through the process of self-awareness and become the source of your own happiness and your own peace, then you can use that as a reference point to say, okay, this man can stay. This one, no. This one, yes, maybe. And then look for a way to commit to a person who is able to meet you at the level of your self-awareness. So that I can talk about that book over and over again, over and over again. It is so huge.
Here's what we're going to do.
Yes.
We are going to come back again and talk on that subject again. And we'll also talk about the second book. I had no idea we were going to get all of this from you today in talking about the book. So that means the book really, really, really needs a whole section, a whole show by itself, which we will do. We have gone over time, and we don't normally do that. But when we do go over time, it's because it's so juicy. And this is definitely juicy. Would you agree, John?
Yes, you are.
Very well. I want to thank you for being on the show today. All right. And we want to take the opportunity to bring the two of you together and those other small agriculture businesses to write that proposal so that we can, so we're not always just talking about what we could do. We want to show the process that it did happen. It did happen. John did write the grant. Patricia did take the 25, and together they created data to give over to John to create the proposal so that we could get the funding for these 25, and then perhaps reproduce that in another area or another county kind of thing. Coach Rob, seems to me like you got somewhere to go. Yeah?
Coach? We'll talk about hydration on next week, but I want everyone to understand. I want everyone to understand that what Patricia was talking about is very, very important to our mental sanity. And so, yes, we do need an entire segment on that subject. The subject of society versus woman. All I want everybody to do is to take your weight, divide it by 2, and that is the amount of ounces or liters of water that you should be drinking. Take your weight, divide it by 2, and that is the amount of water that you should be drinking daily. Ladies and gentlemen, water is critical to your body. 82% of your body is made up of water, and 92% of your body, of your heart, is surrounded by water. And so water is essential and critical. And Patricia, we need to talk because I know that in Nairobi and everywhere else, Africans consume a lot of rice, and the rice is what's giving them the onset of diabetes. And so we need. And I've noticed that when I was in Ghana, there wasn't a lot of vegetables. So we need to talk about that. Anyway, back to you, Queen.
Thank you so much. Do you see, things coming out of our mouths are just so powerful. And it's true about the rice, and it's true about the ugali. And oftentimes I will see people eating a pile of rice on the plate and a pile of ugali on the plate, and then they'll have some vegetable and then maybe some meat. But over half of the plate is starch, which is the rice and the ugali, eating them together, right? It's not good. But anyway, one has to be educated on that. And when we say it's not good, we're talking about what it does to the body. We're not saying those foods are not good.
We're talking about the
ugali is not good. It's great. We
the
love
long-term effects, the overall effects on your heart, your kidney, liver, spleen. And we're talking about diabetes being preventative, and part of the prevention is the foods that we ingest. I am aware that in some parts of Africa that this is about all that they can afford. And so now we're going to need to talk with the government. Let me share this. 75%, 3/4 of the population in 2025 in the United States of America is going to be diabetic. 3/4 of the population is going to be sick. There will not be enough dialysis machines or dialysis centers to contain 3/4 of the population. As we speak, 1.3 million people in America are diabetic. And I know that we have most of the people that are suffering from diabetes are the Latinos, the Asian Indians, and the African Americans and the Arabs. And when I looked at it as you, Patricia, my observation was that they were consuming a huge amount of rice, starches, fried foods. And then our problem here in America is that at every corner there's a Popeyes, a Wendy's, and a Chick-fil-A. And so we have a whole lot of compounded situations going on with the alteration of the food. Thirdly, if you have a microwave, Dr. Paul Goss, God rest his soul, said, throw away your microwave, because the microwave alters the molecular composition of the food. The microwave alters the water, that you're not even drinking water anymore once you have put it into the microwave. These are things that we're not talking about because, of course, we live in a capitalistic society and everybody wants to make their money, but we're killing each other. But I'll talk about that more in depth. Back to you, Queen.
Thank you very much. Thank you
be
very
aware
much.
and pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention.
Sure.
Right. This has been a very exciting show. Our practice session was exciting. The show itself was exciting. And we're now making plans to see what the two of you are going to do together. We're going to see what you and Coach Ra will be doing together. And guess what, Patricia? We're going to see what you and I will be doing together.
Yes. Sure, Queen.
What we always do. And we in the Queen Mother Speaks show with love, because we believe that love is the most healing force in the entire universe. And so I don't know about you, but some days I need love in my life. So right now, collectively, we're going to send love into the world. And the way we do that is we throw a kiss with our right hand first. I'm sorry, our left hand first. Then we throw a kiss with our right hand. And then we throw a kiss together. And as you're giving that love into the world, I want you to really get into it. Tune in to your body, into your energy. So when you're throwing out those kisses, instead of receiving it, it can be a healing and a blessing. Are we ready? Let's go. Left hand first. Everybody together. Okay, right hand. How come I'm the only one making noise? Both hands.
Because our microphone is muted.
Well, unmute. You can unmute. We muted your we had muted it. Can't unmute. Oh, what happened? Okay, she went out. But anyway, the show is ended. She was making a lot of noise back there, so I had to close that. I had to mute the mic. But anyway, let me make sure let me make sure if she's still in the studio. No, she's left. Okay, she's left. Okay, but a great show. And John, I will send your question. I will send your statement over to Patricia, and I'll also send her your information. Okay?
Yes.
Most definitely. Thank you for being on the show. How did you like? Did it work for you?
So much.
Yes.
I loved it. Murimi?
Too. So
yes,
we're gonna end the stream. We're still live on air. We're gonna end the